Still continuing with the political reaction, now joining me is the National Freedom Party Chief Whip, Professor Nhlanhla Khubisa. Basically, this budget actually comes amid a climate. Do you think it's had an impact in terms of how the minister has balanced the books?
Well, we believe that the minister is tried by all means to come across and to surf across a very violent tide, a very violent wave. It's difficult because to do the checks and balances here and there. We've got a very ailing economy in our country, economy that is very sluggish. And the issue in our country at the moment is how you grow jobs, you fight poverty, you fight unemployment. That means that more money must be in the pockets of the poor of the poorest. How do you do that? You must make sure that they get jobs, make sure that you grow the SMMEs, make sure that you have more youth employed within the SMMEs, make sure that you grow the townships, make sure that those informal settlements get more money in order for them to grow. You try to level the ground that is investor friendly in our country, and make sure that you grow the urban and the rural industrial development, because that is very pivotal insofar as growing the economy is concerned. But the most important thing that we feel is important for the National Freedom Party is the issue of education. You need to invest as government to basic and also higher education. At the moment, we have about 53,000 of our youth who have been rejected by NSFAS. We don't believe that 32 million is enough. We believe more money must be injected into higher education. They don't have accommodation, and that is very serious. TVET colleges must be upgraded. The curriculum must be upgraded. We must have more people. Align that with the work situation, a partnership with TVET colleges and the work situation. So that, to us, that is very important. And the issue of poverty is an issue that is destroying our country. We believe that more people, so that we don't have more people who are paying, only a small fraction of our people who are paying tax. We need more people pay tax. The 28 billion that is focusing only to the small majority, and the work and the economy, which is 75%, which is only concentrated on 10% of our population, 75% of our wealth. Things must be reversed as fast as possible by creating jobs for our people.
All right, Professor Nhlanhla Khubisa there from the National Freedom Party, giving us his party's views on the budget speech. We're going to cross again to Manelisi on the other side of the precinct.
Thank you very much, Bulelan. I'm now joined by the leader of EFF Plus, Dr. Peter Groenewald. Dr. Groenewald, given the circumstances, do you think the minister has struck all the right chords?
Well, he addressed most of the issues, but of course we must understand that he didn't have much space to move. What is worrying is the fact that we have a 2.2 trillion debt of the government. It is more than 50% of the GDP, and we're talking about 169 billion interest annually. So everybody knows that if your debt is so much more than your income, then you're going to have problems in future. We are disappointed in the fact that they have increased personal income tax. We are of the opinion that they should have increased the VAT, even if it was 0.5%. And we must remember, the basic products for food and everything is exempted from VAT. So the poorest of the poorest would have not been affected by that. But if you increase VAT, you broaden the tax base. We can't get and have the situation where 5 million people are paying for 55 million people.
Thank you very much. That is Dr. Peter Groenewald of EFF Plus. I'll now take you back to Bulelane.
All right, thanks once again, Manelisi. And now going forward, we're going to speak to the leader of the economic freedom fighters, Mr. Julius Malema. Mr. Julius Malema, does this budget, is it radical enough?
Well, it's not radical enough, but you will appreciate that Minister presented a budget at a time when our country is confronted with difficult economic conditions where growth is very low and there hasn't been enough generated for government to distribute, particularly to poor people. But we are happy that even with those limitations, the minister tried his level best to allocate more to the poor and want to punish the rich. If you look at the type of taxes imposed on those who are rich, we are more worried about the collection of corporate tax, because corporate tax has declined by 3%, which is a clear indication that business is not contributing enough, and it's an evidence enough as well that there is too much tax avoidance by corporate sector. We need more radical policy which will deal with tax avoidance, and we must ensure that government establish state-owned companies which will generate more for our fiscus.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Julius Malema, the leader of the Economic Freedom Fighters, giving us these parties' views on the budget. We'll cross back to the studio. Francis.